Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Asked data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
I'm Simran Harichand. I'm a senior paid media consultant at Hallam. We're a digital marketing agency based in Nottingham, as Amy mentioned. Not all of you, most of you in this room know what a paid media consultant does. Just in case you don't, very simply put, I run ads. And let's be honest, ads are the bane of everyone's existence.
Since January, my entire feed has been filled with ads from the gym group telling me that I can get a 50% off the first month and no joining fee. Very lucrative, isn't it? How do I tell their team that I've been a member of the gym group for the past 2 years? I know I don't go as often as I'd like to. Maybe I don't look it, but surely you can exclude me from your ads. Another one, a lovely, lovely menswear brand for suits showing up on my feed. Now, I hope it's obvious to most of you. Again, if you're hungover from last night, I will make it very clear I am not a man. This is not relevant to me. The ad doesn't say that I'm a woman. It doesn't have any inclusive messaging. I've scrolled past. And then the last one that really grinds my gears, Storyboard. It's a platform to connect with local individuals. And as someone who's relatively new to England, relatively new to Nottingham, I love shit like this. I watched the entire video. I was like, yeah, I'm going to meet some new people. I clicked on it, went on their website. They don't have a branch in Nottingham. Thank you very much. I get it. It's hard. GDPR cracking down. Cookie depreciation for iOS users. It's hard to track granularly, but location, existing customers, you've got to be kidding. And so that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today. How to make sure that your ads don't sound like noise, because so many different brands are just chucking ads into the void. There's no strategy, no relevance, and no clue. That's why we groan. That's why we complain. That's why most of us in this room have an ad blocker. Because so many brands are running ads that are crap. Yes, I have an acronym. It's true to the industry. So what is crap? You've got channel. Perhaps you're on the wrong channel. You're looking at the wrong platform. Maybe you're targeting irrelevant people. Perhaps you're making a lot more assumptions than you should. Or you're optimizing for vanity over value. So let's dive straight into diagnosing why your paid social might be crap. Great. Let's talk about channel. A lot of the clients that I work with, a lot of brands that we work with, don't put enough thought into what platform they should be on. It's almost like we've got that day one list in our head. Oh yeah, we should be on Google, we should be on Facebook, and that's it. But not all platforms are right for every business. Not all platforms are right for every audience. You know, if you are a B2B software company and you are trying to make a sale by making your mascot dance on TikTok in front of the wrong audience, you might go viral. You might even see an increase in your brand search volume. You're not going to see any leads from that. Instead, you could have been part of a conversation on Reddit where people are actually trying to solve a pain point, but there you were on TikTok following a trend. Similarly, if you are a premium B2C garden furniture company and so much of your spend goes on advertising on Facebook Marketplace where people come for a bargain, you might see conversions. Unlikely you're going to see a sale, and this one I tell you from experience. So how do you fix it? You pick your platform based on user intent and behavior. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where is my audience? When is my audience there? And what is my audience interacting with? When we look at the where, again, no matter what kind of business you are, B2C, B2B, D2C, gosh, so many different kinds, no matter what you are, you need to know where your audience is. Is it on Reddit? Is it on Quora? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Instagram? Because if you are that B2B software company, LinkedIn kind of makes sense to check out. If you are that premium garden furniture company, check out Pinterest. Great for home and garden. You know, you have to ask yourself where your audience is. Once you've asked yourself that, ask yourself, when are they there? The reason I say that is because as people, we move from platform to platform as we are nurtured down the funnel. True story, last month my vacuum cleaner broke And so I went straight onto the website for Shark, because my old flatmate used to have this cordless Shark vacuum cleaner that I really enjoyed using. And then I just browsed at the website and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll do it later. I got off it. And then for 2 weeks, my Instagram was filled with ads from Shark, but also Dyson and Vax. And I was like, God, great, it's following me. So I saw this carousel ad from Vax. Really liked it, clicked on it, went on their website, shortlisted like 3, went on YouTube, watched some review videos, shortlisted to 2, did a Google search, ended up on Reddit. 2 weeks later, I had a Vax vacuum cleaner. It's one product, and I changed 5 different platforms, because we move. So don't be fixated. And then the last question you ask yourself is, what does my audience actually watch on these platforms? Because every platform has its thing. You know, user-generated content will fly on things like TikTok, Meta, whereas when you're on LinkedIn, you are kind of in the mind frame to interact with a research paper. You know, perhaps you've broken it down into a carousel ad. Maybe you've made a document ad, but people are going to interact because that's what they're thinking of when they're using LinkedIn. Try that on Meta. Maybe you won't find such success because we're doom scrolling. I mean, if any of you are reading white papers on Meta, shame on you. Again, long-form content. YouTube probably likely to give you a better video completion rate than Instagram Reels, right? So ask yourself these 3 questions, because we asked these 3 questions recently for a client, and it got us a lot of great success. Shameless plug. Workbooks is one of our clients, and they came to us last year, I think. They are a CRM solution. They compete with the likes of HubSpot, Salesforce, so quite big competitors in the market. And they were a little bit of the underdogs, and they wanted us to deliver more brand awareness, more mind share. So we designed a whole creative campaign for them. Maybe some of you have heard about it, the No Bullshit CRM. And then we ran digital out of home, high traffic railway stations in London. We complemented that activity with LinkedIn ads targeting C-suite members in their specific industries. And then we also ran YouTube and digital ads with CRM-related keywords and audiences that were in market for CRM solutions. Great breadth of coverage when it comes to potential users, but also those hidden buyers, people that actually make the decision of what CRM solution you're actually going to buy. Results were great. On paper, you know, we had more organic traffic, we had a higher domain rating, we won Best Campaign of the Year 2024 by Marketing Week, but most importantly, the CEO of Workbooks went on his LinkedIn, made a post about how they saw commercial success from this campaign. So the point is that it does work, thinking about these 3 things. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is relevance. Oh my God, another thing I really struggle with some of my clients is they either want to target everyone under the sun, you know, just 18 to 64, if you've ever been born on this planet, target them. Or they want to go like really niche, really hyper-focused. There is a midway for most people. You know, there are options. I know that we are being forced to go broad. I know that Meta is taking away detailed targeting options. I know that LinkedIn now has an accelerate function where you just give it a blurb about your company and you've got a full campaign ready. But that does not mean you hand over your entire strategy into the hands of Lord Zuckerberg. Don't do that. What should you do instead? Look at data-driven targeting. You know, you have different kind of audiences available to you. Let's start with in-platform audiences. These platforms gather so much information. I know with iOS users, we're asking apps not to track, but still they've got a dearth of data. They've got so much data. So use these in-platform audiences, use interest segments on Meta, use job title targeting on LinkedIn, in-market audiences on Google. Give them a shot, if nothing else. Then you've got lookalike audiences. They're my favorite. It's basically your ability to take your first-party data to a platform and say, find me more people like these. Like, that's great. But the key thing to remember with lookalike audiences is rubbish in, rubbish out. You try to make a lookalike audience of all the people who've been on your website in the last 180 days, it's not going to work. So use your key customers, people who have higher purchase order values, perhaps people who are regular buyers. Make lookalike audiences that are going to impact your bottom line. And then lastly, you've got effective remarketing. I hate it when I audit accounts and remarketing is like an afterthought. You've put in so much money and so much effort into getting people to your website, and then you just kind of leave them high and dry. Nobody likes that. So have effective remarketing in place. If somebody is completing your video on Meta or commenting on it, re-engage them with some kind of testimonial or a social awareness thing. Forgetting my words now. You know, if somebody's been on your website, spent a full minute on your commercial page, just remarket to them. Did somebody add a product to their cart and did not check out? Remarket, dynamic remarketing, let's do it. And once you've figured out your targeting, don't forget to think about your creatives. I'm sure you've heard in the last 2 days so much about the sea of sameness. Gosh, every ad on the internet looks the same. influencer content starting to look the same. LinkedIn is filled with Canva templates from 2017. Nobody likes it. Nobody's going to interact with it because the human attention span, according to so many different studies, is down to 8 seconds. We're not willing to engage with shit that looks the same. So personalize your creative to the platform, personalize it to the people you're talking to, personalize it to the phase of the marketing funnel that you're trying to implement. What does that look like in practice? So I do this for one of my clients, Mobility in Motion. They're a vehicle adaptation company. One of the many platforms I run for them is Meta. I use it for full funnel. But just to really put it into practice for you, when I'm talking to cold audiences, I use in-platform audiences, I use lookalike audiences, and it's basically a video ad that shows the target demographic, the people that we actually want to target, and the products in action. We educate the people. Once they've become warm, they've perhaps engaged. These ads actually get a lot of engagement. So, if they've engaged with this, I remarket them with a social proof. They've got testimonials. You might have a case study. You might have some other kind of social proof. Once they've gone on the website, engaged with some of my product pages, I remarket to the hot audience with product-specific ads, and there's an in-platform lead gen so that they don't have to leave the platform. You're likely to see a higher conversion rate. All I'm really trying to say is make your ads stand out, because if you want to get yourself a slot in that 8 seconds, gosh, that's terrible for us, isn't it? 8 seconds of attention span that we have, then you have to make your ads stand out. Moving on to my next section, which is my favorite section, assumptions. We've all worked with bosses, clients, brands who just kind of know what works. I did this in 2017, so it's going to work in 2025. It's not. Chances are you don't know what you're doing because platforms change, platform capabilities change. As humans, the way we interact with these platforms change. My dad did not use Instagram 10 years ago, but now he sends me reels. It's weird. I don't like it. So how do you make sure that you're not making assumptions? How do you make sure that you're not getting stuck in that trap of, I know what works? Test everything. Testing is the key to any kind of success. Honestly, the way to really, really crack a paid social strategy that works is to question yourself constantly and put tests in place. What should I test? I hear you ask. I don't hear you ask because you're not allowed to talk while I'm talking. 3 buckets of things: platforms, creatives, audiences. When I'm testing, I think in questions. What is the question this test is trying to answer? The hypotheses, basically. So if I'm going to test a platform, I'm asking myself, is LinkedIn better for B2B than Facebook? Or if I run a 2-month awareness campaign on YouTube, will I see more sales through Google? Questions. Same with creatives. Is my video going to give me a higher click-through rate than a single image? Is my logical ad copy going to have more engagement than my emotional ad copy? Same process with audiences. Is my in-platform audience working better than my lookalike? If I change my remarketing audiences from the last 60 days to the last 30 days, will I see a higher conversion rate? So ask yourself these questions. But don't just test because somebody on stage told you to. Have a proper roadmap in place. Figure out what you're going to test. Figure out the timeline. Figure out the budget. Set yourself KPIs of how you're going to know this test is a success or not, and put that lost all my words. Put it live. The reason I say this is because when I first joined Hallam, when I first came into a paid media role about a year or so in, I was one of those people who was like, I just kind of know what works. I'm going to go tell my clients what works. And then I was really brought back down to planet Earth because we got a client. They are a B2B company. Their target audience are dental technicians and dentists. They came to us with a brief. They said, we want to target B2B, and they said, we want to spend most of their money on LinkedIn. I was like, great, sounds about right. I would have said the same thing to you. Let's get going. I made a full campaign. It was a large, all of Europe, big budget campaign, built it all out on LinkedIn. It didn't work. It did not work. We had really ambitious targets. So I basically said, you know what, we'll just try Meta. Went straight to Facebook, duplicated everything. We had job title targeting there as well, and we also added lookalike audiences. Believe it or not, the immense success that we saw in lookalike audiences is incredible. Like, we literally exceeded the campaign target by 30% with 1 full month to spare, and we saved them 20,000 euros. The 20,000 euros did not go in my pocket, but I did save it. So all I'm trying to say is, don't make assumptions, because sometimes you will be really surprised by what you think doesn't work will be the thing that ends up working. If you're in the crowd thinking, gosh, Simran, this is so basic. I have thought about my audiences. I've thought about my creatives. I've done the remarketing, and paid social does not work. Chances are you're looking at the wrong metrics. 9 out of 10 times you go ask a client, what's your measure of success? And they say sales. No, that's wrong. Not every campaign can drive you sales. Every campaign has its own purpose. If you are running an awareness campaign on YouTube with how-to keywords, which is aimed at getting into that day one list for your potential users, it's not going to see attributed sales. It won't. Similarly, if you're running a meta awareness campaign, it's not going to see 50K attributed to it within 1 month. That's not failure. That is the point. So what do? You align your KPIs with your intent. Very basic. You're running awareness ads, look at video views, look at reach, look at engagement. You're running consideration ads, check out your traffic, check out your add to carts, form fills. Then when you're running sales campaigns or lead gen campaigns, that's when you're looking at revenue, CAC ratios, LTVs, whatever it is that's important to your business. Don't just analyze these metrics, also act. If it's not working, kill it. Please don't be afraid to pause something that does not work. Gosh, literally, if one of your ads is seeing a shit click-through rate, pause it. We don't care. If one of your audience segments, you put that test live, and you decided you want to run it for 1 month, but in 2 weeks, it's really expensive, kill it, doesn't matter. You're just going to test something else. Don't just sit there wasting your budget, because there's actual money. I know if your agency side, it's not your money, but still it's somebody's money. Again, this works because I took over a client's Meta account about 6 months ago. Within 1 month, exact same spend, 27% drop in their cost per result, which was cost per landing page view, and then 24% increase in traffic. Shit you not, all I did was pause creatives that were spending a fuck ton and doing fuck all. That's all I did. At this point, if you are not, but you should be asking me, but are my awareness campaigns actually working? Like, do we know if a high engagement rate will ever turn into a sale? Do we know if this extra, whatever I got through my awareness campaign is actually ever going to drive any bottom line results? That's a good question to ask. And yes, there are measurement frameworks that are put in place for you to be able to measure beyond that last click. You've got brand lift studies. A lot of platforms offer them. Meta, Google, if you're running YouTube, they offer these brand lift studies that can see if you've seen an increase in your brand volumes. It's really spenny, but if you are a big business and you're spending a lot of money on your ads, go for it. Absolutely invest in brand lift studies. Then you've got media mix modeling. Again, it's all the rage. I'm sure you've heard about it like 60 times since like yesterday. But it looks at the impact of your overall marketing on the bottom line. So again, if you are spending a lot of money on your ads, spend that extra, 10K on media mix modeling. It is pricey, sorry. And then you've got incrementality testing. So if you're looking for more granular answers like, oh, what if I cut this platform out? Oh, what if I chop my budget in half? Incrementality testing is your friend. If you have in-house data teams, they can help you set this up. If you're in the crowd thinking, I don't have 10K, I'm not a big business, I'm just a baby, that's okay. This is what I do for my clients who have smaller budgets. They're not perfect, but these are the things I look at when I'm running their awareness or consideration campaigns. Brand search volume. Google Keyword Planner will allow you to look at it. Google Trends will allow you to look at it. If you are running, say, a 2-month awareness campaign, then look and track your brand volume for the next 6 months. Is it going up? I know it's impacted by many, many external factors, but your campaign is one of them. So if you're not going to have money to spend on media mix modeling, this is a really good indicator of whether your brand search volume is going up. If it is, and you are targeting the right people, chances are your page, your organic, your direct traffic is getting you more conversions. Share of search, another thing that you can look at amongst your key competitors. There's a lot of resources on Google. You can set it up, do it quarterly. If your share of search is going up amongst your competitors, chances are you're reaping more conversions than they are. And then lastly, you've got cross-channel reporting. Again, not perfect, not at all, but if you have GA4, cross-channel reporting, it's such a great way of seeing how your different channels actually aid that conversion journey for your customer. So don't just kill something that might be working and you just don't know because it's in the background. So my key takeaways for you are, please choose the right channel, give it a thought, target relevant people, don't just assume, and measure your performance. Because the truth is, the funnel is not a funnel, it never was a funnel. It was always that messy middle that Google is now pushing on us, because as humans, we don't behave in a linear fashion. So how can we expect linear measurement frameworks to actually be able to tell us how our marketing is doing? So really, give some thought into it. And if anything, when you go back to your desk on Monday, ask yourself, is my paid social crap? And if it is crap, what is the one thing I'm going to do to make it less crap? Thank you.